Greetings and welcome. This is the New Thought Media Network. I'm Ken Ludwig, and you are watching the Vibrant Living Hour. And I just need to make one quick adjustment here that I forgot about. Bear with me. Trying all different kinds of lighting arrangements to make this work. This is all just natural light on the backside of my camera here, and we'll see how that works for today. So hope you're having a wonderful day, living your best life, whatever it is that you're doing, just enjoying yourself, enjoying a life of love, joy, abundance, enthusiasm, just whatever it is, man, physical health, whatever it is. I've been waiting and waiting to figure this out, and I finally, you got to pardon me here because I was like way late this afternoon, and I'm just getting my act together, getting organized here. Waiting on a pair of non-glare, non-reflective glasses to wear for the show because the glare drives me nuts. But I just had this thought today about an older pair of readers that I had that were different from the ones I've been wearing. And I had them packed in a box over here in a corner. This is, of course, my floating studio, if you will. And I dug them out, and lo and behold, here are these older readers that you can actually see my eyeballs for the most part, or at least I can see them. I hope you can see them too. So we'll see when those glasses arrive. They're on order. They should be arriving anytime now, and I'm hoping they will. But we'll see what happens. So here we go. We got our CBD infused coffee for the show. Always delish. And we've got some things to talk about today. I mean, life's been hectic. Life has been hectic. Here's the update. My wife and I have moved from North Carolina on November 14th. We moved to North Carolina from Colorado, where I had lived for 46 years. For almost 2/3 of my life, I had lived in Colorado. I started in New York, moved to Colorado in 1975. Been there since, moved to North Carolina. Sometimes I ask myself, why did we do that? But here we are, and we are staying at my sister-in-law Amy's house. My beautiful, beloved Lisa's sister Amy. She has a 1,700 square foot house that we're living in, and she has a 750 or 800 square foot art studio on the property. She's an artist, and she has a full kitchen, a full bathroom in there. And her suggestion, this never came from us. She suggested, why don't you guys move into the house when you move to North Carolina? You move into the house and I'll move into the studio, and you can operate from my house as your base of operations. We're like, wow, that's amazing. It was actually the thing that allowed us to pull the ripcord and make the move. So here we are in North Carolina. Now, the interesting thing is the first place we were interested in moving to is a place called Tryon, which is kind of in the southwest portion of the state. Very rural, very nice little artistic community, great little town. It's about 4 hours from here, and there is literally zero inventory of homes to buy, just none. And those that are for sale are exorbitantly priced, of course, because there's no inventory, so supply and demand, right? So we started to look at an area, Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem is a pretty cool town. It's where Wake Forest University is. It's got a lot of history. It's in kind of more in the central western, kind of north of the middle, but still western part of the state, close to the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains. And we started looking there. But it's 125 miles away. It's a 2 hour and 15-minute trip with a couple of stops at rest stops, that kind of thing. A little gas, little pee stop, whatever it takes. And then a month ago, Amy, my sister-in-law, was walking down to the mailbox, and her driveway kind of slopes down a little bit, and she just unthinkingly stepped on what looked like a wet spot, turned out to be black ice. She slipped. I don't know how this happened. I can't even imagine how she flipped in the air, but she landed. The first thing hit the ground was her right knee, which she then shattered her kneecap into, I don't know how many pieces. So it took better part of 10 or 12 days to get her into the operating room because there was a snowstorm on the day they were going to do the operation. So I wound up getting put off for 5 or 6 days or whatever it came out to be. Finally got her knee wired and screwed back together. But in the meantime, she's immobile. And so my beloved Lisa is her caregiver and has been full-time since then. That's put a little bit of a limitation on the house hunting thing. It hasn't been easy because we haven't been able to go every weekend. We're going to go this weekend. We're going to go, today is Thursday, of course, and we're going to go on Saturday and look at 3 houses so far we have lined up. And then, actually, that's not true. We're going to go tomorrow morning, Friday morning, and look at 3 houses. And we'll stay over and come home on Saturday. And then we have, if we still need it, we have another house set up for Sunday. I don't know how the logistics of all this is going to work out. Looks like it might be 225-mile trips to Winston-Salem, which will be a quiet 500 miles for the weekend. Woohoo, that'll be exciting. But anyway, that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. And so the house hunting is progressing. It is moving forward. So I can see there are people out there watching the show. If you are in a position where you can comment or say hi, please do so that I can acknowledge you. I can see that, all I can see is how many people are watching and where you're watching from. I can see, let's see here. I can see there are people mostly watching from my personal account. And I don't know if that my personal Facebook account. By the way, if you do watch this show, you can watch this show on my Facebook account, the Facebook account of New Thought Media Network, the Facebook account I have for Coach Ken, and for my branded Facebook page with my beloved Lisa, Vibrant Aging, which of course goes along with this show, Vibrant Living, and also the YouTube channel for myself and New Thought Media Network. So you can catch the show on any one of those venues anytime you want. And the easiest place to find it probably is on YouTube, because if it's in the stream of my Facebook or New Thought Media Network, if it gets on the stream of New Thought Media Network, if you don't catch it that day or the next day, it's gone, because there's all the other shows that come after it just pile up and it disappears. So if you're out there, I can see that there's someone watching on New Thought Media. I can see there's people on my account. So if you can say hi and make a comment, I'm here. If they show up on the StreamYard comments, I will acknowledge you. And if you have a question or a thought or something you want to hear me talk about, please go for it. I'd love to acknowledge you. So we had some interesting things that go along with this whole scenario about trying to find a house, and it's called stress. And the stress is there's not a lot of inventory, so the houses are going very quickly. Houses are going for, of course, more than the asking price, which is not a big deal. Except if you want a house, you got to really kind of hit the right number, because you're going to get boxed out. We have not found the perfect house. We've made 4 trips up to Winston-Salem. We have not found that house. We've come close a couple of times to pulling the trigger, but we just haven't found the house. In the meantime, we were pre-approved for our loan, and the time of that pre-approval it's got a finite time period that it's good for, and then they have to renew. And that pre-approval is kind of coming to a close here in the next couple of weeks. And on top of that, next month, we know the Fed is going to meet around trying to curb inflation. They're going to raise interest rates. When they do that, mortgage rates will go up almost immediately. Mortgage rates right now are almost a point or a little more than a point higher than they were when we got here in the middle of November. So that's 3 months ago. Right? December, January, February. Yeah, 3 months ago. Almost exactly 3 months ago. We got here on I think we got here on the 16th or the 17th of November. And today's the 17th of February. So with that stress, with that, those kind of little swords of Damocles hanging over our heads with the interest rates and the approval letter and that kind of stuff, those little things, they lead to questioning. Where am I? They lead to a little bit of concern or worry. Concern and worry translate into fear, just maybe at a lower level, but it's still fear. And I find myself in fear thought. And in that fear thought, I find myself wondering, now, are we ever going to find a house? Are the interest rates going to go up and we won't be able to find a house? Are we going to, the pre-approval letter will expire, and when we go to renew, something will go wrong and we won't get pre-approved? Let's just Every single scenario, every single story that the human mind can make up, mine is going there. And it's interesting how when we make up a story, nobody ever makes up a story about how wonderful the things are unless we train our minds to do so. What we invariably do is make a story of spiraling, circling a drain into the crapper, right? It's what most of us do. It's what the human mind does. It seems to be part of the human condition, is that we rather than tell the story of what we really want, of what we're really expecting, of what we want to unfold in our lives, the highest and best interest, rather than telling that story, we're telling the story of all the things that can go wrong. Do you do it? Because Lord knows I do it. But again, it's about training your mind. And I have trained my mind to some extent to, over the course of however long a period of time, I recognize where my head is at. And I go, whoa, stop that. And we go to meditation. We go to prayer work. We go to affirmations. We go to whatever it takes. Maybe it's a golden key phrase that I have, that I use all the time. And I repeat it over and over and over and over again until I shift my mind away from that negative thinking, away from that what-ifism that gets me all askew, that gets me, in that mindset of we're never going to find a house. We're never going to get one. We're going to be homeless. Excuse me. That's the coffee. We're going to be homeless the rest of our lives. No, why go there? Why be there? But that's the human condition. So I'm working on that. And I really am drilling into my faith. Faith is that belief in things unseen, knowing without question or doubt that the universe is always working for me, always working in my favor. The laws of mind are always working for me, never against me. Everything that is happening in my life in some way, shape, or form is compassionate and kind at its heart. It is happening for my good. It's not happening to me. It's always happening for me. So even though we've not found a house in 4 trips, even though we've looked at several and come close, but found reasons not to pull the trigger, even though the interest rates are going to go up, and even though there's a lot of pressure, I have to maintain that faith of God that I absolutely am being served each and every day by a positive attitude. And as Esther Hicks and Abraham would say, a positive vibration with the universe, vibrating with what it is that I truly want, vibrating with that new home, vibrating with that perfect outcome, vibrating with that incredible backyard, with the deck, with the 2-car garage, with all the things that I require and desire in a place to live, knowing the universe is bringing that forth to my beloved Lisa and I. Got to be, right? It has got to be. That's the way it is. And that is faith. Faith is the only way it works. And when I lose my faith in what it is that I desire, what I wind up with is what I really, really, really don't want. That's what worrying is, right? Worrying is affirming or praying for what you really, really, really don't want. And so that's kind of that space that we've been kind of working our way through. Space to occupy. Keep the faith, baby. Always keep the faith. Because it is the faith in our beliefs. It is the faith in our desires. It is the faith in the manifestation of our emotions into what it is we are vibrating with. It is that faith in that brings to us the life we desire. And as I'm saying this to you, I'm saying it to me, man, because again, it's just kind of a stressful moment in life. The one other thing that I wanted to just touch base on is we have a situation in the world, and I'm going to do a socio-political podcast as well. Besides the Vibrant Living Hour, I'm going to do another podcast, and I'm going to do it outside of the New Thought Media Network, because it's not what the New Thought Media Network is all about. But I really want to touch base on this. There's a war afoot. There is the Russians threatening the border of Ukraine, and it's a tinderbox, and it could go off at any second. And today's news, I don't believe I got to put quotation marks around the news, but today's news is that the Russians have moved blood supply onto this front that they've created with Ukraine. Now, it's an interesting, just an interesting dynamic in the fact that blood and plasma, those are not things that last forever. They are they're degradable. They are, what's the word I'm looking for? Bottom line is they have to be refrigerated, and they only last for so long. They have a sell by date. They have a use by date, and so you don't move blood and plasma to the front line, if you will, as a threat to the enemy. You move it because you are anticipating you will need it for your troops. War never has solved a damn thing in this world. Now, some wars are necessary. Nothing got solved. Things got stopped. Aggressions got stopped. The Nazi atrocities got stopped by war. But what was accomplished was still millions and millions of people dead. Even on top of the Nazi atrocity of the Holocaust was millions of people died in the battlefield. It was a necessary war. It truly was a necessary war. But a lot of people would tell you that war is an elective. Well, sometimes war is not an elective. And in the case of World War II, it was not an elective. It was an imperative. It had to be done. But this thing going on between Russia and Ukraine is an elective. And it is simply something that is based on whatever it is that goes through the insanity that we know as the mind of Vladimir Putin. But that's not the point. The point is each and every one of us needs to hold in our hearts the love of the Ukrainian people, the love of peace and harmony there, the love of their freedom, the love of their democracy. And that's prayer work. That's our faith. That's what we need to be doing. That's where our heads, our hearts, our thoughts, words, and deeds need to be. Just a quick thought on that. I told you a long time ago, weeks ago, that I was going to get you the rest of the old expression, a jack of all trades is master of none. Well, here it is. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. If you need somebody to do a whole bunch of different stuff in the realm of construction, but he's not an expert at any one of them, but he's a jack of all trades, that's better than just somebody who's a plumber trying to fix everything. Right? Makes sense. I had a thing I read here this week. I think you'll like this. This is a scientifically controlled study conducted by German researchers at the University of Kassel that has shown that while the chest area of an average person emits about 20 photons of light per second. Now you have to understand a little bit about I don't know what you would call biomechanics, bioelectricity, but the expression or the creation and emission of energy by each of our cells is measured in photons. It's light energy. It literally is light. Your body is producing light. And you produce about 20 photons per second. I'm not sure what 20 photons per second is or what it looks like, but I'm sure as hell it ain't much. It sends, but someone who meditates on their heart center and sends love and light to others emits an amazing 100,000 photons per second. That's 5,000 times more than the average human is projecting on a regular basis of the light that we bring. When we talk about bringing the light, meditating on focusing from your heart center and focusing on love, sending love and light to others, however you do that, creates 5,000 times more photon energy emanating from your body. Numerous studies have also shown that when these photons are infused with a loving and healing intent, their frequency and vibration increases to the point where they can literally change matter, heal disease, and transform negative events. 10 minutes of meditating on compassion, on kindness for others, and try 10 minutes of meditating on compassion, on kindness for others, and you will see its effects all day. That's the way to maintain a calm and joyous mind. That's from a book called The Lasting Happiness in a Changing World. And that, of course, is by His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. But I love this this one piece here, this doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think. Numerous studies have also shown that when these photons are infused with a loving and healing intent, their frequency and vibration increases to the point where they can literally change matter, heal disease, and transform negative events. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard about any of the studies that have been done over the years, and I haven't heard about one being done in a very long time, but at one particular point, there was a study done, or several studies done actually, around the potency or the efficacy of members of the community meditating on the frequency of crime in a given area. Don't have the numbers. Maybe one of these days, you know what? And I'll make a note on today's sheet here, just meditation versus crime. But every single study that was done showed that there was a significant decrease in crime directly related to the numbers of people who were meditating. That's pretty amazing. There has been somebody did the numbers once upon a time, and if I recall correctly, it is 1% of the square root of the population of any country, of any given area, can meditate into change, if you will. If 1% of the square root of the population meditates on decreasing crime, they will decrease crime. Period. How does that translate? If you know if you're not a mathematician, and I'm not a mathematician, but math is kind of one of my things. If you've got 10,000 people, the square root of 10,000 is 100. Okay, 1% of 100 is 1. One person meditating. Is that right? Is it 1% of the square root or is it 10%? I think it's 10% of the square root because I know it's more than 1. 10 people can affect the crime rate or the just the overall ethos of the lives of 10,000 people. If 10 people meditate on one particular aspect of that community's needs or problems or issues. Speaks to meditation, speaks to the efficacy of quieting the mind, being with the self, and projecting out to others what it is you want to experience in the world. What is it that you want out of life? What is it that you want out of life? Do you want peace and harmony? Do you want to love your brothers and sisters? Do you want your brothers and sisters to love you back? Meditate on that. If you want peace, meditate on that. If you want love, meditate on that. If you want harmony in your household, meditate on that. If you want harmony in your relationship, meditate on that. Whatever it is you are looking to accomplish or to have increase, or what vibration you wish to express into the world, meditate on that. And you will find that you can change the world. There's God only knows how many books and stories and whatever on changing your health with meditation. And I think one of the great examples of that, probably that's most accessible to everyone, would be, you know what? There's a couple of them. Norman Vincent Peale is not about meditation, but his book, and when I forgot the name of it, Norman Vincent Peale's book is about good humor and laughing. He got himself back to health. And I don't remember what Norman Vincent Peale was suffering from. It might have been cancer, but he got himself back to health by watching Three Stooges TV shows and Abbott and Costello and things that made him laugh. And laughter helped to cure him. The great modern example, of course, is Dr. Joe Dispenza and his catastrophic accident, his catastrophic collision with an SUV during a triathlon when he was punted 50 feet from his bicycle and crushed his spine, basically, and how 12 weeks later he was walking and seeing patients again, against the advice of doctors, against all odds of being able to even walk again without an operation, which he refused, and he meditated himself back into health. I'm doing the same thing myself. With those of you who have watched since the early going of this show, I'm doing the same thing with the diagnosis that I had for degenerative disc disease. I am experiencing some degeneration of my discs, and I have endeavored to use meditation, prayer, and affirmation to reverse that. and some other techniques, some things. We had Dr. Sue Morter on this show a couple of months ago, and Sue demonstrated an incredible breathing technique that I use every morning in my meditation. It comes from her book, The Energy Codes. Joe's book, by the way, is his first book, Evolve Your Brain, if you want to get the story of how he transformed his life. And Sue, again, Dr. Sue Morter's book is The Energy Codes. Their experiences, their lessons are that we can increase the vibration and the frequency of our bodies to the point where we can heal ourselves. That's pretty extraordinary. And I think inherently we all know that. I think in this world where we talk about the magic bullets of pharmaceuticals, I think we tend to forget that no doctor, no pharmaceutical, no therapy ever healed anyone. It may have in some senses facilitated the healing, but the healing was done by the human body. The healing was done by us. And it's, and one of the great examples of that, of course, is the placebo effect. Placebo effect is where, you give one group of people a medication, you give another group of people a sugar cube, and everybody thinks they're getting the medication. And without any question, almost always, people with the placebo, the sugar cube, do as well or better as the people with the medication. That is absolutely about that idea of infusing your mind with healing energy and having it work, having it lift up your vibration, your frequency, to the point where you can literally change matter and heal yourself. So I thought that was an interesting piece that I picked up on this week. The other thing that I have been promising you that I finally got around to is a little bit more about the Association for Global New Thought. And it wasn't about them, but the Association for Global New Thought, and Arun and his wife, Sunanda, I believe is her name, Gandhi, who started the association, the season for nonviolence in 1998 or 1996. Oh my goodness gracious me. Anyway, what I want you to know is the season for nonviolence is 64 days. It is 64 days from January 30th, the day, and I promised myself I was going to have this at my fingertips, and I didn't do it, and my apologies, and I'm going to go do it right now. Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated on January 30th, and I like to say it's 1948. But it was 1948. There you go. I finally got it right. It is so. Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated on June 30th. Oh my goodness! All of a sudden I can't talk. January 30th, 1948. Martin Luther King was assassinated on April 4th, 1968. 20 years apart, but the difference between the time between January 30th and April 4th is 64 days. So the 64 days is the season for nonviolence. And there's a little thing called 64 ways in 64 days. And each and every day of the season for nonviolence has assigned to it a thought, an idea around how to celebrate or to activate, if you will, nonviolence. Now, today is day 18, but I wanted to take you back through, and I'm going to look at this here. In the 64 days to live nonviolence, here's what this says. The season for nonviolence marks the 64 days between the anniversaries of the deaths of Mahatma Gandhi on January 30th and Martin Luther King on December 4th. I told you that. By the way, Cesar Chavez's birthday also falls within the season at March 31st. The birthday of his death. Actually, it's not his birthday. It's the anniversary of his death. The season for nonviolence was co-founded by Arun and Sunanda Gandhi, as I said, and the Leadership Council of the Association for Global New Thought, and it was in 1998. Excuse me. We learn to practice nonviolence one step at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. Through our daily nonviolent choices and action, our noble and courageous spirits rise to move the world in the direction of peace. So here's what I want you. I just want to go through these with you and see if you can just get an idea here of what this is all about. The first day is the 24 hours. First 24 hours is January 30th to 31st, and 31st is day one. And the idea is courage. Day two, the idea is smiling. You know what? And let's give you a little more. I'll just give you a little description of what they say here. Day one is courage. Today, if you are able, light a match and accept the courage to practice 64 ways of living nonviolently. If no matches are available to you, picture a flame with your imagination. This flame represents the beginning of a new season of reflection, a new season of growth and practicing nonviolence. That's day one, courage. Day two is smiling. Today, smile with at least 3 people, knowing that your smile contributes peace. You know, in the Optimist Club, the Optimist Creed says in one of the parts of the Optimist Creed near the end of it or near the middle of it that they recite every day at their meetings is wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. You know, that smile, you have no idea how much that smile means to anybody that you give it to. It could mean that make the difference between a horrible day and a sunshiny day for them. So wearing a cheerful countenance and giving every living creature a smile is a good thing, not just for them, but for you. It'll make you feel great. Day 3 is gratitude. Begin the day by listing 5 things for which you are grateful. End the day by sharing with one person all of the good things in your awareness that happened during the day. I write down at least 10 things every single morning. At the end of my prayer and meditation work, I write down at least 10 things I'm happy and grateful for. And in the past, Lisa and I have shared the things that we were grateful for at the end of the day. Might be a good thing for us to revisit. Day 4 is caring. Real caring is not just what we say, but what we do. Make a list of at least 5 ways that you can take better care of yourself, your community, Real caring is not just what we say, but what we do. Make a list of at least 5 ways that you can take better care of yourself or your community. Practice at least 1 from each list today. Day 5 is believing. Today, believe that you have all the resources to move your life in the direction of peace. Be aware of the simple, peaceful responses you receive. Day 6 is simplicity. Live simply so that others may simply live. That's from Mahatma Gandhi, who retired when he retired his 3-piece suit. He retired his 3-piece suit to simply live in a piece of cloth. He was demonstrating the principle of this statement in action. Live simply so that others may simply live. Day 7 is education. Knowledge strengthens your convictions and deepens your wisdom and understanding. Read an article, a periodical, or a book on a subject that relates to nonviolence. Day 8 is healing. Today, choose a painful incident in your life and find the gift it is giving you. Consciously share this gift with others. That's a beautiful one. Look at the gifts that your pain have given to you over the course of years. It's always amazing to me how when we stop and realize that life is happening for us, not to us, that all of a sudden those painful incidences, the dynamics of them change and they become lessons. They become gifts in so many different ways. Put some attention on that. Day 9 is February 8th and it's dreaming. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. What is your own dream for peace? What is one thing you can do to honor your dream? Do it today. Day 10 is faith. Today, say, yes, it is possible. Even if you don't know how your goal will be realized, have faith and say, it is possible until you find a way. Day 11 is contemplation. For at least 3 minutes, relax, breathe, and let your mind be fed by whatsoever is good and beautiful. And that is, you know what? That's what we talked about here just a little bit ago when we talked about how the body can produce 5,000 times the photons simply by little meditation on love and healing. Something to contemplate for sure. Day 12 is discipline. The only true and lasting discipline is self-discipline. Today, make time for coming into alignment with your full potential. Discipline is one of my favorite words in the English language, because when we think of discipline, we don't think about it in the sense that this particular little blurb is talking about. We think about discipline as in punishment. I can remember once in the young adult ministry at Mile High Church, I asked the group, when I say the word discipline, what do you think of? And this one beautiful lady, Heather, she went, the cracking of a whip. I said, exactly. That's how we think of it. But discipline is a whole different thing from that. Discipline comes from the word disciple. Disciple comes from the Latin discipulus, which means student, which comes from discere, which means to learn. And in the end, when you decipher the etymology of the word, discipline is simply the activity of a disciple who takes on a set of practices and principles to serve his next high or her next highest good. That's what discipline is all about. Day 13 is creativity. The worst thing you can do to a human soul is to suppress its natural desire to create. Identify at least 5 ways in which you express your creativity every day. Today, allow something unpredictable and joyous to be expressed through you. I think, because I know it to be true in my life, that so many of us have our creativity suppressed because we're in a world that discourages it. We're in a world that wants us to be automatons. It wants us to be in sync with everybody else, not creative, but disciplined in what they want us disciplined in, as opposed to the discipline of being creative, which is what this is talking about, expressing your creativity every single day in however many ways you can. Day 14 is humility. Making mistakes is part of learning and growing. Today, freely acknowledge at least one mistake you have made and reflect for a couple of minutes on what you have learned. That's a good practice anytime you have the absolute temerity to acknowledge, oops, that was a mistake, and then think about the mistake. Contemplate what you have learned from it, or what else can come from it. Day 15 is reverence. Today, immerse yourself in the sensation of an activity such as going for a walk, drinking a cup of hot tea, or looking around you. What do you notice as you slow down with this activity? Last night I was sitting out on the deck here at the house, and the sun was just about down, and it was kind of a little breezy out, but it was a nice day. I had like a little fleece poncho on, and I was just sitting out there, and I was just kind of looking out at the little woodsy area at the back of the house. And my beloved came out and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing." She said, "What are you thinking about?" And I said, "Nothing. I'm just looking and enjoying the moment." And it's one of those rare instances where I said to myself, wow, I'm really just enjoying the moment, which is where we're supposed to live anyway, in the now, right? And that's what this reverence is all about. Immerse yourself in the sensation of an activity such as going for a walk, drinking a cup of hot tea, or looking around you. Just immerse yourself in that moment, in the activity of that moment, and be nowhere else but there. Be here now, as Ram Dass said. On day 16, leadership is the word, and it is nonviolent leadership expresses integrity, courage, wisdom, and vision that is meant for the highest good of all concerned. That's real leadership. Real leadership is taking into account the highest good of all concerned. That's true leadership. Leadership is not, if you think you're a leader and you're just out, you think you're walking around leading people, and you look behind you and no one's following, you're just some jerk out for a walk. Leadership is being concerned with them and bringing them along with you, not marching in front of them and trying to have them follow. That's not leadership. Day 17 was yesterday, and the word is integrity. And integrity is do the right thing. Film director Spike Lee used these words as a title for one of his movies. When faced with a choice today, listen to your conscience. You know what's right. Do it. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody else is watching. That's integrity. Integrity in the universe, in my viewpoint, however limited this might be, the universe recognizes 0 degrees of integrity. You either are a person of integrity or you are not. So honor the integrity. You know what your integrity is, honor it. Today is day 18, February 17th. And the word is freedom. A very, very, very interesting word for our times, especially our times in this country. Freedom, it says, civil rights activist Diane Nash said, freedom, by definition, is people realizing that they are their own leaders. That you don't need anyone else to lead you. That you lead yourself. That's true freedom. But with true freedom comes great responsibility in my world. You cannot be totally free and ignore all around you and go back to the 2 days ago, and the word was leadership. True freedom is also having a vision that is meant for the highest good for all. That's true freedom. For the highest good, not for what you want, not for what you're in this particular time in history, what your party wants, what you think might best serve the ideas of your favorite ideology or ideologue or demagogue, as it might be. Freedom is about concern for each and every one of us and leading ourselves down that path. Henry David Thoreau said, the law will never make people free. It is people who must make the law free. You must create laws that make people free, that make people feel free, think free, know they are free. And what does it mean to be free? So take a few minutes, list some things that you would like your community to be free of or free from or free to do. List some of those things. And then how can you activate? What can you do to actually make that happen? Make that come true. Hey, Larry, glad you're there, man. Thanks for watching today. I was reading a screen there, so I didn't see you in the comment section. I'm glad you're with me, brother. Thank you very much. All the rest of you that are out there, if you make a comment, I can see that you are there, and I'm glad to acknowledge you. I think Larry is actually watching on New Thought Media Network, and you can go there and find me on the New Thought Media Facebook page. So that's hello, Yvonne. Thanks for joining me today. The Season for Nonviolence, I think, is something that is really a great opportunity for each and every one of us to just go visit those the pages where you can find out more about it. You can just look up Season for Nonviolence, or you can go to the Association for Global New Thought page. I believe that is agnt.today. It's the only .today I am aware of. I got the great list that I was reading from. It has one for each and every day, and it actually tells you the date of what the word is for each day and gives you a little quote, a little idea, and some action steps on it. And that is at the GandhiInstitute.org. And yes, there are two I's in Gandhi Institute. Actually, there are more than two, but there's two together there at the end of Gandhi and Institute. GandhiInstitute.org. And that's where I found this great list. It's the best one that I've seen, which actually gives you the dates and lets you know exactly where you're at. And you can read through any and all of them as you wish. I have been, and I mentioned this last week, I've been in touch with Arun Gandhi, he's been a Facebook friend for many years, and I expect to get him on the show shortly. We have a technology glitch with, I'm 71 years old, and technology sometimes can be a real challenge for me. Arun is 85, and he's looking for the path of least resistance on technology, and StreamYard needs to be done through Chrome or Firefox, and I don't think he had that. So last time we tried, we couldn't connect. Next time we will get connected. I'll get connected with him. We'll have him on before the end of the Season for Nonviolence. I really want to talk to him about how he and Sananda, his wife, put this all together with the Association for Global New Thought. So that's pretty much what I have for you today. I really want to reiterate the idea of each and every one of us taking a moment to include in our prayer work peace on the earth, peace in the exchange, the intercourse between Russia and Ukraine, and wherever that's going. Let's know that there's peace over there, that there's no death, there's no violence, because that's not going to accomplish anything. It is absolutely a war of choice. It is not something that needs to happen, and there's no nothing to be served other than occupying and gobbling up part of a country that doesn't belong to Russia. So we all need to know the integrity of Ukraine, the wholeness of Ukraine, and love for all the soldiers involved on both sides, that none of them have to die. Always remember that this beautiful place, this New Thought Media Network is a non-profit organization. Please take a minute and go to ntmedia.org and click on donate. We are thrilled to death to get whatever it is you will send us. Whatever. I mean that, whatever. We live and die by virtue of donations. ntmedia.org. That's newthoughtmedia.org. Give us whatever little amount of money you decide you want to. If you want to reach me, go to teamrockitnow@gmail.com. And I'll be glad to entertain whatever it is you have, whatever thoughts you have, whatever you want to me to address. I'm glad to do that. My sponsor is HempWorks. HempWorks.com/Ken Ludwig will get you there. I want to show you, I told you every Thursday now I have my cup of CBD infused coffee, and I love it. I mix it half and half with beans that I grind myself and run through a latte machine, through an espresso machine, and mix up one of those little straw sticks of the instant coffee infused with CBD. There's 5 milligrams of CBD in there, which is a legitimate dose for the afternoon. And the interesting thing is I can have a cup of coffee that's not going to keep me awake late in the day, which is very cool. I also told you about the fact my wife, Lisa, my beloved Lisa, had pulled a muscle in her arm. And she has been using the relief cream. Why can you do something without a glare there just once? There you go. Relief cream. This stuff works. That's all I'll tell you, is it works. I told the story many times of the day I got it, took it out of the box, put it on a sore knee, and the pain was gone before I completely had it on my knee. The lifeblood of your endocannabinoid system, the system in your body. Every single cell in your body has receptors for cannabinoids. You make some cannabinoids within, which is endocannabinoids, but you need more to stimulate that system and to stimulate homeostasis throughout your entire body. That's balance in your whole body, in every system of your body, from your autonomic nervous system to your digestion to reproduction, to every single system of your body is influenced by cannabinoids. It absolutely helps you to reach that balance, reach that homeostasis. And the last one is one I haven't showed you before. I use this every day. This is a hemp oil lotion, hand and body lotion. Just love it. I just love it. It works wonders on just dry spots you want to keep moist, whatever it is. It works. It's beautiful. Excuse me. You can find me on Facebook at Vibrant Aging. That is my beloved Lisa and my branded Facebook page. So that's about it for today. The Vibrant Living Hour would be more like a Vibrant Living 50 minutes today. You can, by a couple other things maybe that might interest you. You can find me on Instagram at evolving_hippie. Evolving Hippie is me at Instagram. You can find anything you want to know about the best weight management system I've seen in a very long time. And I've been coaching people through weight management systems for over a decade. Go to bodymelt.com/Ken Ludwig. That is another brand under the same umbrella as the company that is the parent company of HempWorks. And that company, of course, is mydailychoice.com/Ken Ludwig, where you can see the whole story and see what it's all about. I want to go back one more time to, where is that? I can't find it. I lost it. Where'd it go? There you go. New Thought Media Network. Click on the donate button. We'll take whatever you'll give us. And again, you can find me at teamrocketnow@gmail.com. That's it. That's it for me today. As always, I am incredibly blessed by the great gift that is your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings the universe has to offer. And until next Thursday, or the next time we meet, namaste, my friends. Namaste.